Are you an online coach who's finding it increasingly difficult to stand out from the competition? Are you frustrated by how much you have to do just to compete and you just wish people would understand what an amazing coach you are? If that's you, don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to share how you can stand out in a saturated coaching market. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time entrepreneur as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats, I do all the things. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about how to stand out in a saturated coaching market. So I've dealt with this firsthand. I've actually been online since 2009, but I have been in the coaching arena since 2015. And in the 5 or so years that I've been coaching full-time since 2016. I've definitely had to pivot strategies and do different things in order to keep myself relevant, in order to stand out in an increasingly saturated market, in order to attract clients. So if you want to know the things that I did in order to stand out and the things that you can do too, stay tuned because we're going to get into it. All right, the first thing that you'll want to do in order to stand out in a saturated coaching market is remove a common barrier, particularly a barrier that people hate. So a great example of this is you'll see a lot of weight loss coaches saying, I can help you lose weight without counting calories, right? So counting calories is like a dreaded barrier that people who are on the journey to lose weight hate doing. So you want to think about what is the arena that you coach on and what is something that your target market thinks they have to do in order to achieve the result, but they absolutely hate doing it, right? In fact, I even have a masterclass, a free masterclass, where I teach you my strategies for getting consistent clients. And in that masterclass, I say, I'm gonna help you attract clients without a large following, a Facebook ads budget, or needing to do, some big launch, because I know that those are barriers that people who are just getting started or even people who have been in coaching for a long time really hate, they really dread, they hate this idea that they have to go out and spend a bunch of money on Facebook ads or do some huge launch or waste, all this time trying to get a gazillion Instagram followers. So by the way, if you want to check out that masterclass, it's at CourtneyLSanders.com/masterclass. But that's just an example of removing a common barrier that your target market hates. So that's an easy way to stand out. So think about whatever arena you're in, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's finance, whether it's love and relationships, whatever it is that you do, ask yourself, what is something that your target market thinks they have to do, but with your methodology, they won't have to do, and really call that out in your marketing and in your branding. All right, the next thing you'll want to do to stand out in a saturated market is find a blue ocean, meaning ask yourself, who are you not considering? So there is a great book called The Blue Ocean Strategy that's been around for a while. I want to say it came out in maybe 2005. It was written by some, Harvard researchers, that kind of thing. But it really put this concept of blue ocean, meaning there's a red ocean where all the sharks are and they're all like fighting over the same, fish or whatever. And then there's a blue ocean where there's no sharks. It's just you. You're just the only person playing in your lane. So you want to think, even within your industry, how can you create a blue ocean, meaning find space where the competition is not. So in the book, they use the example of circuses, right? So circuses were a very competitive industry. The prices were being driven lower and lower because, circuses roll through town. They, want to appeal to the kids, and there's pretty much no differentiation from one circus to the next. And parents were just looking at the ticket prices like, okay, this circus is $30, but the other one across town is only $20. We're going to take our kids to that one. And so they give the example of Cirque du Soleil, which kind of flipped the model on its head. And they asked themselves, who are we not considering? And it was, well, instead of targeting the kids, why don't we target the parents, right? So Cirque du Soleil was like the first circus for adults, right? And they started targeting adults, and those tickets are way more expensive than $20 or $30 that you pay for circus tickets for your kids, because it becomes, this night out, for adults. It's very upscale and very sophisticated, and it's these, cool acrobatics and all these things. And so, I don't know how much the tickets are, but I know it's a lot more than your average circus ticket. So you want to think about that when it comes to your industry as well. Ask yourself, who are you not considering? Who is everyone in your target market going after? And is there a different demographic or, a different type of client that you can focus on that everyone else is ignoring, that you can create a blue ocean? You just swim on over to them and help them with their problem, and you'll find that you're the only person pretty much, in the space doing whatever it is that you do, and that's a great way to stand out. All right, the next thing that you'll want to do in order to stand out in a crowded marketplace is do what I call niche up. So you want to, instead of niching down, even though that's important, you want to go up to the higher end of your marketplace or the higher end of your clientele list. So you want to do this because the air is thinner up there, meaning there's not a lot of people competing for the higher end clients. It's kind of crazy, but it's very true. There's actually a book that you should read. It's really good. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big. And they give this example about how when there was 2 job applications that went out, and one job application was for, a higher position, at a higher price, or a higher salary, they barely got any people who applied because everybody thought that they weren't qualified. But when it came down to like a minimum wage position, that where the benefits wasn't that great and it just wasn't that great, they had a gazillion applications. Everybody was fighting for, the lower job, and pretty much no one applied for the higher job. And so I find that it's the same thing, especially as a coach, pretty much in every single arena. Everyone thinks, for whatever reason, that they want to go after the mass market, but very few people are looking at the top end of the market and asking themselves, who are those high-end buyers, that want the same thing, but maybe they just want a higher level of service, maybe they want that white glove experience. If you could provide that to them, why not go to the top of the market? Because again, the air is thinner up there and pretty much nobody is going to be serving those people, and they're always looking for people who can do good work, with discretion and, really meet their needs at a high level. So niche up in the sense that you want to ask yourself, who is at the top of my market? Who are my top level clients? And how can I go after them? Because you'll find very few people are competing for the top of the top. Most people are competing for the mass market. All right, I have more tips where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. What business or industry are you in? Share in the comments below. Okay, the next thing you'll want to do to stand out in a crowded coaching industry is actually become a best kept secret, which kind of goes back to the previous example or the previous step that I was just saying in terms of niching up. When you go to, those top level clients, you can actually build a practice where you are pretty much by referral only. And so you're almost this best kept secret in the sense that you are like the power behind the throne. Like the people who are in the know about you and they recommend everybody go to you. So I think there's this false idea that you have to be everywhere all the time. You have to be super, big in your face. You have to be on every single platform. And that is a strategy and it does work, but it requires money and time, in order to put your stuff pretty much everywhere that your clientele can see it. So if you're, just starting out or you're dealing with limited resources, again, if you're willing to niche up and go to the higher end of the market, then you can kind of position yourself almost as like a best kept secret, by word of mouth only type thing where you are constantly getting referrals from, your high level clients, and anyone who's in the know works with you because you're the go-to girl or you're the go-to guy. So in a way, becoming a best kept secret can actually work for you. All right, I really hope you enjoyed these tips, but if you want even more, I invite you to download my Get Found guide. So this is a guide that I put together that will help you get found by your ideal target market online, even if you're in a crowded industry. So this is a workbook and you will go through some different activities and it'll really get your juices flowing in terms of what you can do to get found online as an online coach, consultant, or expert. So if you want to download that, just go to CourtneyLSanders.com/getfound. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want even more, make sure you're following me on my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, both on iTunes and Spotify. And if you want even more, you can't wait for the next podcast, and you definitely can't wait for the next video, then go ahead and check me out where I hang out daily, which is Instagram. So my Instagram handle is CourtneyLSanders. Go ahead and give me a follow there. Leave a comment, send me a DM. I love chatting it up with you all from YouTube and all over the interwebs. All right, so until next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye.